Hey friends, it's Bill McDonald, the Common Sense Math Doctor, and in the connected video, I mentioned to you about inequalities using number lines, and if you've already memorized my acronym rules, uh, you know that it stands for the steps that you follow to do a math problem, and it's read the question and problem, underline so you can understand the key words, look for and label the key numbers and the words, evaluate the problem, in other words, make a plan, execute versus ugly your strategies, eliminate extra information and then eliminate and explain your wrong answers, select your correct answer in the book, and before you do your Scantron, search for errors, double check it another way, and then as we know that the word odd has one vowel, there's a 1 there, it has 3 letters, and then you count from there, so anything that's odd is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Those will always be A, B, C, or D in all subjects. The word even has 2 vowels, 4 letters, so those are the first 2 even numbers. Then you count from there. All even numbers will always be F, G, H, or J, or because it's math, it could be a grid response. So as we read the question, it says, which number line represents the solution to the inequality 200x plus 100 is greater than or equal to, because remember we said when we're looking at it, if it's open to the left, that means whatever's to the left is bigger than, and in this case, or equal to 2,100. Okay, so what I did was, before I even worked on my math problem, I went ahead and drew vertical lines, because letter A has the 10 filled in. That means that it's greater than or equal to 10, means included, so you can fill in the 10. Letter B is also filled in, so you can draw a line after it and say it's less than, because all of that is bolder there, you can see it, less than or equal to 10. Letter C, it's not filled in, so you have your kids draw a vertical line right on top of it. It means it can only be greater than 10 in order to be true, because it's filled in to the right. And the last one, it's also open, so you exclude the number that it's on. So letter D would be less than 10. Okay, so this came from question number 9 from last year's 7th grade test, reporting category 2. It was a supporting standard, student expectations 7.10b, and only half the students in Texas had the endurance to be able to work out 4 problems and figure out which one of these 4 is true. So what I've done is I've worked it out for you already. It says 200x, and all I'm doing is going straight from here, plus 100 is greater than or equal to 2,100. 200x plus 100 is greater than or equal to 2,100. So if you solve for x, we know that we can subtract 100 from each side to get rid of that 100 there that's on the left side. So now we have 200x is greater than or equal to 2,000 when you take away 100 from both sides. Then, since we have multiplication on this side, if we divide by 200 on both sides, it would be x is greater than or equal to 2,000 divided by 200. And we know that 200 times 10 is 2,000, so x is greater than or equal to 10. And when we look at all the choices and we read them carefully, greater than or equal to, I only see an A or a C that has a greater than 10, but when it says greater than or equal to, it means this letter A is the one you're going to choose, because it has the 10 filled in. And I think the kids have to just be careful to say, oh, is it open? Then exclude it. Okay? When it's filled in like that, it's included. So the correct answer in this case would be letter A. Now let's keep in mind what I taught you about circumference and diameter. It says the bullseye target below is circular. As shown, it has a diameter of 12 inches. Okay? And the formula for circumference is pi times diameter. But the trick that I taught you in my video using my fingers is that cherry, pi, put it together, is delicious. And then you make what your kids see as a D. Pi times diameter, 3.14 times the diameter. So now let's look at the other one. Area is pi r squared. Well, apple pies are 2. And even though r stands for radius, you're going to say that, okay, area is equal to pi, 3.14, times the radius, which we said was halfway across that circle. So since we saw that diameter is 12 inches, well, circumference, we're already good to go. 3.14 times 12 would be their circumference. But let's see what they were asking in the question. Which measurement is closest to the area, pi r squared? Notice how the syllables matched on a circle. Area, pi r squared. And then I would do that little pi area. You would make the little pi, you would make the r sign, and then 2 fingers pointing up. So that one would be the apple pies are 2. Apple pies are pi r squared. So here's what it looks like. Area equals 3 and 1400ths, 3.14, what some of you would say, times the radius squared. So 3.14 times 6 times 6. It would be good to go ahead and multiply the easy ones first, so I put that in parentheses. Area equals 3.14 times 36. And then when I did it on what I call the calculator, because if we rely too much on the calculator, and we end up with calculator because students don't know how to do conversions or operations using a regular computation on paper. So the answer is 113 and 400ths. And let's see, if we were talking about inches, so the final answer would be 113 and 400ths inches squared as the answer. So that's letter H. So if we do our little rules check like we normally do, we did read the problem and the question. We did underline and understand both the problem and question. We've labeled in both places. We've evaluated and eliminated the extra information. We've eliminated 3 because it's 113 and 400ths. So I'm going to circle the H, very tiny, put another little H there, eliminate the other 3 answers, and we're going to select H, and we're going to go ahead and bubble it in. And the last thing that I've taught you is right next to your number 2, we're going to put an H and circle it so that our book answer matches our Scantron answer. So what I would also recommend you do, because too many kids are not practicing good responses, since this was letter H, then those of you that have my mathematics chart can circle H, and then they would write in 113 and then when you're doing decimals, you teach your kids, read the number that they see, and then you can say its address, 400ths, and then our keywords are inches squared. If this was money, then you can tell your kids that we would be $113 and 4, and we work our way to the right, cents. And 4 cents is 4% of the next dollar. 4% of the next dollar. So when you're working backwards 2%, you just move the decimal 2 spots to the left. And that's the cool thing about this mathematics chart. It lets you work on fractions right there, and decimals, and percent, and you can also work backwards. God bless you guys. I hope that you like the combination of the two videos to help with these two very difficult math problems from 7th grade. Please share or tag your math teacher friends.